This is Chiropractic Marketing FM, an on-demand talk radio show that covers internet marketing best practices for chiropractors. I'm your host, Dr. Patrick McNamara. Welcome, everyone, to episode number 11 of the Chiropractic Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Patrick McNamara, and today we're continuing our discussion on how to take your chiropractic website from good to great. But first, I need to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by Chiropractic Marketing Websites. Chiropractic Marketing Websites helps chiropractors double, triple, and even quadruple new patients in 90 days or less without tech overwhelm and without spending a lot on advertising. Right now, you can grab a copy of their 2018 Ultimate Chiropractic Website Blueprint. This blueprint will show you what you should include on your website that'll help double your conversions, leads, and new patients in under an hour. So if you're not getting the number of leads that you would like from your chiropractic website, then head on over to www.chiropracticmarketingwebsites.com and download your free copy today. Again, that's www.chiropracticmarketingwebsites.com or simply visit getcmw.com. That's getcmw.com. In part one of this series, I covered how to grab a domain name and hosting plan, how to install WordPress on a server, which WordPress framework and themes I recommend you use, and what WordPress plugins should be installed as a core set. If you haven't listened to that particular episode, just search for episode number 8 or click on the link I left in today's show notes. In part 2, I walked you through how to set up the Yoast SEO plugin, how to add your chiropractic website to Google Search Console, how to add Google Analytics to your site, how to sign up for a Google AdWords account so you have access to Google Keyword Planner, and last but certainly not least, how to configure the Security plugin so that your site stays protected against potential hacks and malware. If you need a refresher, you'll find everything I just mentioned in episode number 9. In part 3, we focused on a few cosmetic changes you can make that'll make a huge difference to your site's overall effectiveness. We talked about things like having a professional logo, using the hello bar for lead generation, making sure your phone number is clickable for mobile users, having a top menu bar that's easy to use and understand, as well as making sure you have social follow buttons at the top of your site. Today, let's continue that discussion. Let's talk about things you can do in under an hour that will make a huge difference toward brand recognition and lead generation. First off, make sure you use a photo that's relevant to either your brand or practice in the hero section of your site. If you're not familiar with that term, the hero section is the large upper portion of a website that sits just below the header. It's an important part of a website because it's the main section that's encountered first by website visitors. Since a picture is worth 1,000 words, you want to get this right. It needs to clearly articulate what you do, or who you are, or where you're located, or even what type of conditions you get good results with. It can also correspond with whatever lead magnet you're using with your primary call to action. Just make sure it's a high quality image that's been compressed so that it doesn't slow your site down when loaded. Next, add a clear call to action to the hero section that stimulates people to actually take action. I can't tell you how many chiropractic websites I've seen that fail at this one objective. The hero section is designed to grab the attention of site visitors the second they land on your home page. This is accomplished not only by the image you use, but also by the words you select for your call to action. If your call to action is weak, you'll have a high bounce rate, which obviously corresponds with a low conversion rate. But if you have a powerful call to action that really resonates with your site visitors, your conversion rate will go through the roof. Speaking of conversion rate, your call to action needs to be connected to some type of opt-in form. Otherwise, you'll have no way to calculate this number, but more importantly, no way to capture the contact information from people that actually visit your site. Remember, the primary goal of your website is to build an email list. Now, I can hear you say, no, it's to get new patients. Well, that's true, but won't happen without a clearly articulated call to action that's connected to an email opt-in form. You need to realize that most people that visit your site won't necessarily become a new patient right off the bat. That's why you need a quality image with a clear call to action that's connected to an email opt-in form so that you have a greater chance to capture their email address before they leave. Next up, make sure you write compelling and engaging headlines that use one of the primary keywords you're trying to rank for. Believe it or not, statistics show that on average, 8 out of 10 people will read a headline, whereas only 2 out of 10 will read the rest. So writing better headlines throughout your content is extremely important. Matter of fact, the better your headline, the better your odds of beating the averages and getting what you have to say read by a larger percentage of people. Now, there's definitely an art to this, and maybe I'll cover it in much greater detail in a later episode, but if you want an immediate source you can turn to, I recommend reading the Step-by-Step Guide to Writing Powerful Headlines by Neil Patel. I'll leave a link to this article in today's show notes, so make sure you check it out. It's jam-packed with great suggestions that'll get you heading in the right direction. And finally, make sure you're writing keyword-rich copy for the body of your homepage that not only can be easily read by humans, but also tells search engines what your website is all about. This is one of the secrets to on-page SEO and will even help your site rank better in your local area. Now, if you're not a writer, then I recommend you head on over to Blogging Chiropractors and let one of their professional writers handle the job. Just order the article through their custom order service, and it'll be done typically within 3 to 5 business days. Their address is www.bloggingchiropractors.com. All right, I think I'll wrap things up here, but before you go, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast. Just click on the links found in today's show notes, or simply go over to iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, or Stitcher and search for the Chiropractic Marketing Podcast. Also, I'd highly recommend that you go download the 2018 Ultimate Chiropractic Website Blueprint. You can find it over at chiropracticmarketingwebsites.com or simply visit getcmw.com. Last but certainly not least, I'd greatly appreciate your review of this podcast over at iTunes. It not only helps build awareness of what I'm talking about, but also gives me a good indication on how I'm doing. Be nice, be fair, but definitely be honest. I would greatly appreciate it, and so will future listeners. Thanks again, and I'll catch you next time.